Here's the solution to the puzzle that I set a few days ago. I hope you've enjoyed the challenge. And once again, you can see that it's to do with promoting a pawn. White play and win. This is a study by someone called Venink. Well, White's first move is forced. I think this is the thing. When you're trying to solve these puzzles, actually, you just have to calculate as you would normally in a game. You don't look for trick moves, actually. You think, what's the most logical move? So the logical move here, the only move to try and win, is a7, and that's kind of your starting point. If White makes a queen, then he wins. Very simple. So how does Black defend? And I think if you were to solve this properly, then you would have to, of course, you have to anticipate the best defense. It's just like you're calculating in a real game, actually. Well, first things first, what happens if the rook comes back to stop the pawn? This is very easy to crack. You play bishop check. Obviously, if rook takes bishop, then you make a queen, and we can assume that queen versus rook is a win. It is, of course, a theoretical win. And if the king moves to the side, then the bishop comes down to b8, blocking the rook, and the pawn will queen on the next turn. So back we come. But instead of rook g8, which is easy to crack, Black can play rook g2 check. And here you have to get the right move. If the king moves up to the third rank, this is a mistake. For example, if king b3, then the rook comes back. This now draws, so Black wants to eliminate the last pawn, and here bishop g3, through check, does not work, because in this case the bishop can be taken, and that's check, because the king came up to the third rank. So after rook g2 check, in fact, king b1 is a winning move. King a1 also wins, if you see the next tactic. So once again, moving the rook back will lose to bishop g3 check. So Black has no other option but to check. Now if the king comes up again, then another check. Or indeed, if the king comes here, then the rook just goes behind the pawn. But White does have a way to win here. Very nice move. Bishop e1. Once again, if the rook goes back, then bishop g3 check wins. But what of rook takes bishop? Well, the king comes up. Black has only one move here. It's all very logical. Rook e2 check. The king comes up again. The king cannot go behind the pawn. The rook can't go behind the pawn. Another check. The king advances. Black only has one move. Check. And now king b5. And that's the end of that, because the black king blocks any further checks from the rook, and of course prevents the rook coming down to stop the pawn. So White gets a queen on the next turn. Perhaps not so difficult, but well, I rather like it actually, and I think quite practical. Okay, let me set you one more position, and this is probably the most difficult of the lot. So here's the position. Once again, the theme is promotion, and Black would very much like to promote that pawn to a queen. Of course, then he'll, well, should win. So here's the challenge. White to play and draw. How does White draw from this position? As I said, this is probably the most difficult of all the studies, but I hope you enjoy the challenge, and if you have seen the solution, then please don't spoil it for everyone else. And if you've liked these studies, and indeed liked the power play videos that you might have seen, then remember you can subscribe. It's free to subscribe, and that way you get instant email notification when a new video arrives. I hope you enjoy this. Solution comes in a few days' time.